Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Smurfslaps, and today we're going to be talking about the essential basics of a Warhammer 40k game. We're going to start out with point scoring and how you build your armies, then we're going to go through the 5 key phases of all Warhammer 40k matches, and then we'll do a bit of a roundup and summary at the end. Let's get into it. Now, before any models hit the tabletop, you have to agree to a points limit for the match with your opponent. That points limit usually comes in one of 3 different point sizes, and these are quite common across all 40k games. These points limits are put in place to keep the game fair and interesting, whilst also maintaining a sense of scale and size. The smaller the points limit, the faster a game will move. So if you want a quick skirmish with one of your friends, a smaller points limit is probably better. If you want to play a tournament-sized game, a larger points limit is usually best. Now, common point limits that we tend to see in the tabletop are 500 points, 1000 points, and 2000 points. 500 points being your quick skirmishes with your friends, 1000 points being quick battles with a bit more tactical nous to them, and 2000 points being your standard competitive army size. Both sides have to have the same points limit though. You can't go having someone with 1000 points playing someone with 2000 points. It wouldn't work. But remember as well, these are points limits, so you can't exceed them, but it is always advised to get as close to the points limit as you possibly can. So now that we've covered the points, let's look at the point of a tabletop match. Now, there are a couple of different ways you can play a tabletop match. One is that you can look to capture and defend objectives. The other is to play last man standing, basically until one team is wiped off the face of the board. Now, either way you wish to play this, you're going to need to learn the tactics, the rules, the dice rolls, and movement rules. Now, all of these have been covered in a previous video that I will link to in the description of the video. Now, as I said in the previous video, you're going to need a few things to play the tabletop. You're going to need armies of similar points value, preferably the same, but it's not always possible, terrain and a board to play on, some 6-sided dice, rulers, and of course, the core rules and army data sheets. That's it. 5 very key things, but you need to have all of these in order to play the game. Now, as I said at the beginning, a Warhammer 40k match is divided into 5 different phases, and the first of these is the command phase. This is the phase during which you collect and gain command points. These enable you to spend on powerful stratagems as you go through the match. Next up, we have the movement phase. Now, the movement phase is measured in inches. Hence, in the previous video, I stated you need a ruler that measures in inches. It's the standard measurement size for all Games Workshop tabletop matches. Now, you can find out what your movement ranges are in the individual faction codex that you're playing as. Armies with far more mobile units, like the Tau, can move greater range distances than heavier armies like the Necrons or the Space Marines. But it again depends on which army and faction you're playing as. Check your rulebooks and your codexes, and that will tell you how far each item can move. Some units can move further than others, trading combat effectiveness for speed. An example of this are assault intercessors. They have jump packs, which means they can move double the distance of a standard set of warriors, but they will also deal less damage to an enemy unit when they get to that enemy unit. So that's a very key thing to think about when you're fielding your army. Which is more likely to be combat effective and which one is likely to hit the enemy faster. It's something you need to work out and decide on before the match begins. Third, we have the shooting phase. Now, this is where ranged combat begins. And this is also where the dice rolls come in quite handily. You will have an individual set of die that you will throw, and that will tell you how many hits you score on an enemy. Now, depending on the units you use and the enemies you are facing will depend on what you need to roll to score a hit. In the shooting phase, it can determine how many enemies you hit, wound, and kill. Again, previous video that I've done on the special rules, go check it out. It's actually quite a fun one to watch. Now, during the shooting phase, you select your target, you roll to hit, you roll to wound, and then you roll to save if you are the defending army. Most actions in Warhammer 40k's tabletop will follow this structure of dice rolls. So keep an eye on what your codex says and what the individual basic rules say about the dice rolls for your specific faction. Next up, we have the charge and fight phase. Now, during this phase, one army will roll 2 dice to attempt to charge and attack another army set of models. During the fighting phase, both sets of armies will roll dice to try and eliminate the other opponent's models. Now, this is your close quarter phase, And the survival of your units is again going to depend on what you roll on your dice and what your codex says about special rolls and saves, etc. Morale may be lost and you may suffer additional penalties or lose additional models depending on what you roll and again, what's in the codex and what special rules are applicable to your units. Now, as I said in the beginning, there are a couple of different ways you can win a Warhammer 40k game. Most are done by securing objectives and point scoring. Some are done by totally obliterating your opponent. But it again depends on what you agree to with the individual game. Most tournaments will look at point scoring and objectives capture, whereas most friendly games, it'll just be a case of you kill me before I kill you. With regard to tournament play, smart positioning, raw combatability, and tactical nous will be key for you to win an individual tournament match. If it's just between you and your friends and all you decide to do is fight to kill each other and wipe each other off the board, pick the strongest units you possibly can within your points limit and just go at them. But beware the Tau, because they tend to be the ones that wipe you off the board whilst you're not looking. So guys, these are the core rules of Warhammer 40k. Now, each faction will add its own flavors and its different rules into the game, and you'll also get your special rules that you can put in there as well, but you need to adhere to these basic rules first in order to be able to play any game at all. If this video helped, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below. Tell me what army you guys are building and what you will be playing on the tabletop. Let me know if there's any rules you think I missed, and let me know, even more interestingly, if there's any rules you would love to change, get rid of, or add to the core rules to build on play.